Well, we got one that's.
It's free for and I take it. I can't find the tab. And I'm like, what the hell?
Huh?
Don't think they don't recognize it.
All right. I got one.
She lives in Palm Beach. I'm upset.
God bless you. Well, I've been after you for a minute.
Congratulations. Whose house did you buy? It's a good building.
After they approved the story, that we wrote.
We're the greatest city.
Oh, trust me, it's in here. It's in here. A quick question, because I don't usually probably answer from the couple. They just actually kind of wrote some stuff down.
That's up to him, but probably not.
No, probably not. You got 3 point. You got 3.1.
Look at it.
You gotta be.
I was gonna quote you, but now I gotta cut it short.
That's okay, sister. That's okay. That's okay. She's doing well. She's.
But I'm going to invite them to see what it's all about. Let them come to the ceremony.
Okay, it is now 1 minute. 1 minute. We're starting at 1800 hours. It is now 1800 hours. I'm going to call this regular council meeting 2026-08 to order. The invocation will be provided by Pastor Tim Ritchie from East Wind Pentecostal Church. And, oh yeah, go ahead. I love that. I love that. And then the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Councilman Langevin. All rise. Pastor Ritchie?
Good evening, Mayor and members of the council. Thank you for this opportunity and privilege to bring forth the word tonight. and thank you for your service to our city. Proverbs tells us that blessed is the man that findeth wisdom, and the man that getteth understanding. For the merchandise of wisdom is better than the merchandise of silver, and of gain of great gold. She is more precious than rubies, and all the things that you can desire are not to be compared unto wisdom. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we come before you, and we know that you're on the throne, that you're the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And Lord, we pray that you would move in this council meeting tonight. I pray for each and every member of the council that you would give them wisdom and knowledge and understanding. Give them the conscience, O Lord, to do the things that are right and to put you first in all that we do. Lord, we pray for this great city. We pray for our law enforcements and for all of our first responders. God, that you would keep your hand upon them. Give them protection as they do their duty. Thank you, Lord, for a city where we have safety. Thank you, Lord, for keeping your hand upon us. Lord, we are nothing without your touch, and we just pray, God, that you would move in a special way in our service tonight. And we'll give you all the praise and all the glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hoorah! Hoorah! Yeah, go ahead and motivate me, gentlemen. Madam Leffler, roll call.
Mayor Medina,
Present.
Deputy Mayor Jaffe,
Present.
Councilman Johnson,
Present.
Councilman Hammer,
Present.
Councilman Langevin.
Present.
Mr. Morton.
Present.
Ms. Smith.
Present.
Deputy Mayor, we're now on announcements.
We have one vacancy on the Community Development Advisory Board representing one of the following fields relating to affordable housing, not-for-profit provider, residential home building, and actively engaged in home building positions. We have two vacancies on the Citizens Accountability Task Force. These represent at-large positions. Anyone wishing to serve on these boards can apply online at palmbayfl.gov or contact the City Clerk's office at 952-3414.
Thank you. Wanted to congratulate all members of council for their appointments on the Citizen Accountability Task Force. Those two are at-large positions. We're now on agenda revisions. Mr. Morton.
No revisions tonight.
Thank you. Madam Smith.
No, sir.
Council, any agenda revisions? Seeing none, we're going straight to proclamations. So good evening, everyone. Yeah, it's okay. You could, this isn't exchange. It's okay. So very first off, really proud to do something collectively as a council. I wanted just to thank each and every council member, because when we brought up being the first city to be a Purple Heart city, each and every member on that dais gave a resounding consensus. So that just shows where the heart is, and the heart is to honor the men and women that have sacrificed so much for our nation. I'm going to call Keith Van Buren up, the commander of the Military Order of the Purple Hearts, chapter 453. Come on up, Mr. Van Buren. But I'd like to see each and every one of you come join us. Each and every member, every veteran, and every Purple Heart recipient, come on up. Every member of that chapter, come on up and join us up here. That's you too, there, motivator. How are you, Mr. Robinson? Come on, Russ. We're going to take a few minutes to have Russ join us. We love you. Who's out there? Come on, Gunny, come on up. You got cued in. Come on up. What's up, Gunny?
Good to see you.
Raw?
Right.
You can stand right there. But
Join us, Joe.
Go ahead. Turn around.
Okay, great dog.
Thanks for being here, Russ. I knew I could count on you coming, man. You're a motivator. All right, if you haven't guessed it yet, motivator, I need you over here. Come on over here.
Okay.
You sit on that deck or stand below, but come here. No, stand up. I need you to hold that. Guys, look at this. I don't know about you, but that motivates the heck out of me. Military Order of the Purple Heart City. It is hereby proclaimed by the mayor of the city of Palm Bay, the greatest city on the face of the earth, gentlemen, and this is why we're the greatest city on the face of the earth. Whereas the city of Palm Bay, the largest city located on Florida's Space Coast, has always supported the military veteran population. And whereas the Purple Heart, the oldest military decoration in use today, evolved from the badge of military merit created by George Washington for the common soldier in 1782. Whereas the Purple Heart is awarded to members of the United States Armed Forces that have been wounded or killed in combat with a declared enemy of the United States of America. And whereas the mission of the Military Order of the Purple Heart is to foster an environment of goodwill among the combat wounded veterans and their families, promote patriotism, support legislation, and most importantly, make sure we never, ever forget. And whereas the city of Palm Bay, located in Brevard County, has a large, highly decorated veteran population, including many Purple Heart recipients. And whereas the contribution and support of the city of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, it is vital to the citizens of the United States of America as to our military history and our heritage. Whereas the city of Palm Bay, along with the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Space Coast Chapter 453 of Florida, appreciates the sacrifices of our Purple Heart recipients and that have made in defending our freedoms, and feel it is important to acknowledge them for their courage and show them the support that they have earned. Now, therefore, I, Rob Medina, Mayor of the city of Palm Bay, hereby proclaim this city as a Purple Heart city in honor of all combat wounded veterans and to fully support the Military Order of the Purple Heart, and encourage all our citizens of Palm Bay to increase their knowledge of our military history and our heritage. In witness hereof, I set my hand and cause the seal of the city of Palm Bay to be affixed this 5th day of March 2026. Keep Van Buren step up, just so that each and every one of you know, you'll see that there is a resolution also declaring this city as the Military Order of Purple Heart City. And Keith, come on up and share your thoughts about the men that have protected each and every one of our lives, brother.
Thank you. I'm not going to be as exciting as the mayor here. So we'd like to thank the city for going and doing this. You guys really took it and you ran with it. You've done more than we've asked, and the chapter is very appreciative of that. We'd like to thank the people of Palm Bay for your support on behalf of the Military Order of the Purple Heart Space Coast Chapter 453. Our chapter includes currently more than 140 members throughout Brevard County. A few years ago when I joined, it was just over 200. Some of them have passed, some of them have moved. But we know there's more Purple Heart recipients out in Brevard County, and we'd like them to join. We'd like them to join our fellowship, our support, and our continued service to one another and to our communities. Tonight, as the mayor said, Palm Bay becomes the first Purple Heart city in Brevard County, the 84th city in the state of Florida. So we're excited about that, and we thank Palm Bay's leadership. And then we're going to use you guys as a method to get other cities to get on board here. So we'd also like to remember the Palm Bay service members that have been, that have been killed in action during Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation Iraqi Freedom, and in support of Operation Inherent Resolve. So I'm just going to read the several names real quick. We have Army Private First Class Michael Creighton Weldon, 20, KIA, 29 March 2003, Iraq. Army Captain Jason Korn, 31, KIA, 2 May 2003, Iraq. Army Specialist Jerry Sancho, 23, KIA, 13 October 2011, Afghanistan. Army Specialist Justin Horsley, 21, KIA, 22, July 2012, Afghanistan. Marine Gunnery Sergeant Jonathan Gifford, 34, KIA, 29th July 2012, Afghanistan. And Air Force Staff Sergeant Tristan Wright, 28, who was killed in an undisclosed location in support of Operation Inherent Resolve, and whose death remains under Department of Defense review. Their names matter, their service matters, and their families matter. In the past week, 6 more American service members have been killed in actions taking place in the Middle East. 6 more Purple Heart recipients. 6 families who are now Gold Star families and will carry that loss. In an uncertain world where much feels beyond our control, we can control what we can cultivate here at home. We can choose remembrance, we can choose unity, we can choose fellowship. The men standing with me and the Purple Heart recipients across this nation are living proof that even after traumatic experiences, a life of service can continue. They've inspired me and many others to keep pushing forward, to not let the hard days win, and to remember that there are people who care and are willing to help. So to the city of Palm Bay, to the people of Palm Bay, we thank you all for helping us carry this mission out, and we hope that you also never forget their sacrifice and that we all continue to serve each other. Thank you.
Gentlemen, I'm going to ask that you all come down off that dais and join us with these heroes. I'm really proud that this city is the very first one in our county. And I'm really proud of all these men. I know several of them personally, and I think the world of them. And they unselfishly, they serve. You could tell Keith, it doesn't matter what he's doing. He's just serving other people, and this whole team is the same way. Mr. Robinson, thanks for being here, brother. I know your work as an attorney. You're an inspiration to us all. So come on in. Guys, Keith, get that proclamation over here. Because we're going to take a photo. Don't cover the sign. Come on, guys.
Roger that. Thanks, sir.
Yeah, let's get it up. Yeah,
Are you good?
Love you, chew.
Sir, thank you, sir. Very, very much.
Gummy free, dog. Okay, motivators, shake each and every council member's hand before you disperse.
Thanks a lot. Appreciate everything.
My kids play baseball, so I'm
I'm gonna see you like this on Follow me on Twitter. Do you know Chandler?
I'm a corpsman.
Oh, okay. 75.
Yeah, awesome.
Thanks, Doc. Give me that. Give me some love, Doc. Give me some love. Love you guys. Now get to work. Ah, sir.
Come on, man, you're a city.
Ah, sir.
I'll see you.
Ah, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Love you. Have fun.
Prince some money would be good.
Huh?
So we print some money would be good.
He's got the resolution. I'm gonna put this. Okay, we're gonna go to our next one. God bless you. It's great to see you. Bye, Russ. God bless you, buddy. Okay, you guys got to disperse. You're dismissed. It's a military thing, guys. Go ahead, Fredo.
I don't want to squish the letter. No, careful, my phone. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. I took 2. Hello, Mayor.
Hi. Hey, Miss Sandy, God bless you. Okay, we're going on to the next proclamation. I'm going to call Brian McCann up. Come on up, Brian. Guess what time it is? It's March. And it's not March Madness we're talking about here. Come on, Brian. Come on up here, buddy. It is hereby proclaimed by the mayor of the city of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, whereas by 1776, nearly 300,000 Irish nationals had immigrated to the American colonies and played a crucial role in America's war for independence. And whereas 5 signers of the Declaration of Independence were of Irish descent, 3 signers were Irish born. Whereas Irish Americans helped to fashion a system of government for our young nation. And whereas 22 presidents have proudly proclaimed their Irish American heritage. Whereas in 1792, Irish-born James Hoban provided the architectural plans for the White House and served as one of the supervising architects to the construction of the Capitol. And whereas Irish-born Commodore John Barry was recognized by the United States Congress in September 2002 as the first flag officer of the United States Navy. Whereas Commodore Barry fought the last sea battle of the American Revolution off the coast of Florida. Whereas in 1813, Captain Oliver Perry, an Irish American, achieved a major naval victory in the Battle of Lake Erie. And whereas in 1942, the 5 Sullivan brothers made the ultimate sacrifice for democracy and freedom during the naval battle of Guadalcanal, and later had the destroyer USS Sullivan commissioned in their memory. And whereas the Irish, did you say you served on the Sullivan? No, oh, as you were. Whereas the Irish first came to the Spanish La Florida in the 1500s, first as missionaries and mercenary soldiers, and then as planters, traders, businessmen, doctors, and administrators. And whereas 3 of the Spanish governors of La Florida were actually Irish military officers. Whereas Father Richard Arthur, an Irish-born priest from Limerick who was appointed parish priest for St. Augustine in 1597, was the judge of La Florida, established the first public school in America and opened to both boys and girls and all races. Whereas Andrew Jackson, whose family came from County Antrim, served as Florida's military governor following the acquisition of the United States, by the United States. Whereas Irish Americans, since America's inception, have provided and continue to provide leadership and service to this nation's political, business, and religious establishment. Whereas it is fitting and proper to celebrate the rich cultural heritage and the many valuable contributions of Irish American. Now, therefore, I, Rob Medina, Mayor of the City of Palm Bay, by virtue of said authority, do hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as Irish American Heritage Month in the City of Palm Bay, Florida, and urge all our citizens to recognize the many valuable contributions of Irish Americans to this country. I have set my hand and caused the seal of this city on this 5th day of March 2026. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Rob.
Brian, invite folks.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you very much to the mayor and council of the great city of Melbourne of declaring March 2026.
We're in
Irish.
Palm Bay, though, Brian.
What did I say? Melbourne?
Melbourne.
Ah, city of
That's
Palm
next
Bay.
week.
Yeah, it's next week.
That's next week.
So, yeah, well, and we really appreciate you declaring it Irish Heritage Month. So next weekend, the 14th, is the St. Paddy's Day Parade. It's in downtown Melbourne. That's where that comes from. So it's 10 o'clock in the morning. It's going to be downtown. It starts up at the auditorium, comes down, and it runs down to New Haven, and we'll go to the post office and end down there. So you're all welcome. I'd like to send my invite to the city council. If you guys want to join Mayor Rob and come and participate in the parade, we'd love to have you. Thank you again. Irish Americans, thank
Tell
you.
them all. Invite them all.
You're all invited, 10 o'clock in the morning.
And how, isn't it a large event?
Yeah,
Like, how many thousands of people were there
This,
last year?
there was, we had over 1,000 marching last year.
Yeah.
So it was pretty big, and it was a 3-day event. This year it'll be 2 days in a row, and then on the 17th, Megs will be doing their open house. So it's good. You know, Scotty's a great person, stands behind us, and you do too, Mr. Mayor.
Copy that, sir.
Thank you.
I just don't, I don't drink like when I was in the Marine Corps.
He drinks worse. Good to see you.
Have a pint ready for me.
Right next to us, I'm sure Scotty's gonna have his tent right next to us.
Yes, sir.
Nice and cold Guinness. Thank you, guys.
Our next and last proclamation, last but not least for today, I'm going to call up Samantha Nazario up. And this is a really special one as well. This is Hemophilia and Bleeding Disorder Awareness Month. It is hereby proclaimed by the mayor of the city of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, whereas hemophilia is a rare disorder in which your blood doesn't clot normally because it lacks sufficient blood clotting proteins, clotting factors. And whereas if you have hemophilia, you may bleed for a longer time after an injury than you would if your blood clotted normally, causing weakness of the voluntary muscles. Whereas symptoms of hemophilia may include unexplained and excessive bleeding, large or deep bruises, pain in joints, nosebleeds without a known cause. And whereas Bleeding Disorders Coalition of Florida is an advocacy organization founded by the Hemophilia Foundation of Greater Florida and the Florida Hemophilia Association to be the voice of the Florida bleeding disorders community. And whereas Bleeding Disorders Coalition of Florida has been serving the bleeding disorder community to improve their quality of life by offering programs and services such as a medically supervised camp, scholarships, advocacy efforts, emergency financial assistance, and education programs to support healthier and more dependent lives. Now therefore, I, Rob Medina, Mayor of the City of Palm Bay, by virtue of said authority, do hereby proclaim March 2026 as Hemophilia and Bleeding Disorders Awareness Month.
Thank you, Mayor.
Congratulations, ma'am. Here you go.
Thank you, Mayor, Council, and Palm Bay residents. My name is Samantha Nazario, and this is my son, Tyler. We accept this proclamation on behalf of the Bleeding Disorder Coalition of Florida, the National Bleeding Disorder Foundation, and our Familia de Sangre, along with 120 other rare illnesses standing here with us today. We are celebrating our 7th-year partnership with Palm Bay. Palm Bay was the first city in Brevard County to ever declare Bleeding Disorder Awareness Month. It's such an important milestone because this is our 10-year anniversary of national awareness. I speak to you tonight not only as a mother, but as the 2021 National Advocate of the Year. 20 years ago, at age 6, Tyler was diagnosed with von Willebrand's disease. We turned our fear into courage. At the age of 15, Tyler created Team Tyler. For 11 years, he has led advocacy work by raising over $75,000 to help support our community. In 2024, we took the fight to DC with a quill for Congress to enforce the Affordable Care Act. That same year, Congressman Bill Posey showed us what real courage looks like. He was the only Republican out of 219 signatures on a petition to sign this enforcement of the Affordable Care Act before his retirement, showing that his life's work was very important to him and that no child should be left behind. In our life, care is a mountain. One dose of medicine for Tyler costs $15,000. We keep on hand $100,000 worth of medication just to be able to make it to my hemophilia treatment center in Tampa, 2.5-hour ride. The CDC is systematically being dismantled. Since April of 2025, the Blood Disorder Division was gutted from 4,333 experts to 2 people to protect the nation's blood supply. This crisis is draining our state. We are looking at 50 million cuts in hemophilia treatment centers alone, the very clinics that keep our patients alive. Because of this dismantling, Florida is actually set to lose $1.2 billion. This isn't a budget line, it's a community lifeline. It threatens the safety of every patient in this room, anyone fighting leukemia, cancer, or any other blood-borne illness, such as HIV or hepatitis. When the watchdogs are gone, we gamble with our lives. We refuse to return to the tragedies of the 80s and 90s, such as the Ricky Ray and Ryan White laws and stories. In the 80s and 90s, the hemophilia community lost 10,000 Americans to contaminated blood. The United States of America lost an additional 28,000 Americans that were given contaminated blood. Now, because of these cuts, 383 clinical trials have been canceled. Over 2 decades of research and hope stopped. That leaves 74,000 patients, that's more than the residents of Melbourne, in the dark. Marketplace premiums have jumped from $30 to $176 for one person. This is a human issue. We all have blood. We all need blood. We don't just fight for ourselves. I fight here for our Familia de Sangre all over the world, the families in our cities and beyond. Because of your support, we ensure Palm Bay does not just survive, we thrive. Thank you.
Tyler. Come on, Tyler.
Thank you very much. Thank you, buddy.
Okay, we are now on public comments. Deputy Mayor?
Doug Hook.
Doug Hook, 1091 Mariposa. I'm here tonight just to hype up a couple events that I noticed were happening here in Palm Bay. First off, we have on 3/14, actually, we saw it on the boards when we first started the meeting today. There is an event at Turkey Creek celebrating our teaching kids how to what the butterfly lifestyle is, how to grow garden or do gardening for pollination for them. I think it's going to be a great event. That is for kids, are designed for kids ages 5 to 10, but they do require an adult there. If anybody in the public is interested in that, contacting Turkey Creek and getting on the schedule for that is highly advised and required. Also on 3/14 at MRC at the Lagoon House, they're going to be doing some low impact development practices. They're going to be doing some weeding and some gardening around the Lagoon House at their rain garden and their native plant garden. And they're also looking for volunteers to help out with that. I'm signed up to be out there slinging some dirt with them. And on 3/28, from 10 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. at Turkey Creek, the same kind of kid pollinator class that is going on, they're actually doing one for adults. So if anybody's interested in pollinating or gardening for pollinators, that's something that's going to be happening. I'm going to slip on my Sustainability Advisory Board hat real quick for the last minute of my comments. I wanted to thank Robert Hardy. He's a Turkey Creek Ranger. He was at our Sustainability Advisory Board meeting a couple of weeks back. He had a phenomenal presentation that he did regarding the invasive species at Turkey Creek. I highly recommend if anybody is interested in hearing what he had to say and what they're doing at Turkey Creek, go back onto the city's website, pull up our Sustainability Advisory Board video, and watch that. It's very informative, highly informative, highly beneficial presentation. And lastly, I spoke last time up here. I did my presentation on the native plant garden. One of the things that I talked about was having a funding gap. I actually wanted to thank Deputy Mayor Jaffe. He brought something to my attention that Lowe's is actually doing a grant project. I have already submitted an application for that. What I'm here tonight to ask council is one of the things that could help us potentially with that is they are actually looking for letters of support from the city government. So I don't know if that's something that you guys would like to vote on tonight. The deadline for that letter of support, if you would like to submit it, is March 20th. So I know if we were to bring it back up the next city council meeting, we'd be very short on time for getting that submitted. But I would appreciate council's support if they are willing to do so. That could go a long way towards helping us get that grant from Lowe's. It is an alternative funding source. It would be right down the road. They have a presence with us, and it could help us finish up what little funding gap we have with the project and get it going for there. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Morton, well, first of all, council thumbs up on that letter of support? Okay, so Mr. Morton, I guess drafting that, letter of support, or, you could sign it or the mayor could sign it, whichever way. Oh, well, Kenny, I can't see, I don't have Kenny, do you have a thumbs up there? Councilman Johnson? Well, I got four. So,
With council's permission, I'll draft the letter, sign it on behalf of the city council, work with Mr. Hook to perfect the language, and get that to him early this next week.
thank you, sir.
Excellent. Thank you.
Next speaker.
Bill Batten.
Is Councilman Johnson on the phone, Ms. Terry? Can you hear me, sir? Okay, carry on. Sorry.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. I have two items to address. Item number one, special council meetings. Last Friday, there was a special council meeting to discuss the non-ad valorem tax. It's a fund for firefighting. Important topic. However, on the agenda was a business item for a settlement agreement. When you proposed this sanction, there was a full house, standing room only. But for the settlement, there was only 9 people in the chambers. It looked like you were trying to hide it. Remember, impact versus intent. I don't know what your intentions were, but I know what the impact was as the people that saw it. Remember, impact versus intent. Item number 2, Austin, Texas cops. Good job, good training, good courage, and good skills. I hope the same for the city of Palm Bay, unless they're after me. Thank you.
Before we get to the next speaker, Madam Attorney, would you just briefly state the reason for that added business item?
Yes, Mayor. The attorneys had agreed that the item would be placed upon the next council meeting, had filed paperwork with the federal court, letting them know that there was a tentative settlement. Unexpectedly, the court immediately dismissed the case, although without prejudice, so it did put more pressure to go ahead and get this put on an agenda as soon as possible. I did not want to do an agenda revision because I thought that looked bad, so I did put it on the next the next agenda, which was a special council meeting.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker, Deputy Mayor.
Woody Woodrum.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Well, thank you for this 3 minutes to do a little rant. Safety and quality of life, that's really what this council's about. And when you run a city, that's the most important thing that you're responsible for. Both have been diminished over the last few years. I asked this council to meet and discuss the following: move the mayor to a full-time position and increase his salary to the $250,000 that the city manager gets, relieve the city manager, or make him the mayor's liaison. A simple yea vote is all that's required to make this change. It would be created as an ordinance. The mayor will then meet with all department heads and make changes as required for the best performance from our city employees. With the amount of residential housing that has been built and more that's coming down the line in the near future, we better get ready to handle it and handle it now. We're not a little sleepy town anymore. Time for major changes is now. We can start by changing our elections to partisan elections. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Mayor, can we just get clarity on that, on ordinance versus the charter? Be nice to hear from the city attorney on it. Woody, would you mind listening? We're going to give you an answer, sir. Do you mind?
Carry on, Madam
Yes.
Attorney.
That would require a change to the charter. Actually, it was briefly discussed with the Charter Review Committee. But yes, we'd have to have a referendum, and it would have to be voted on. We have to change our charter in order to have what's essentially a strong mayor.
I read the law, and that's what I got. In the city in the state of Florida can make this change without a charter change under a simple ordinance. That's what I read in the law.
All right, sir. Thank you.
May be wrong.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Butcher end.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not for him, it's for everyone else.
Butcher Rand, 219 Trenton Avenue, Palm Bay. If it would not be a great cost, if there could be a do not block the intersection sign placed at Minton and Jupiter on the south end, and then go down to DeGroot, where you make the left off of Jupiter and put another one in the middle there. I'm telling you, the people get jammed up because everybody comes around, blocks the intersection, the light turns green to go west on Jupiter, traffic doesn't move because the light's red at DeGroot. And I think that would be minimum cost to do that. I don't know how much it would cost you. You have to do a survey or what, but it seems to me it would just be a matter of going out there and looking at the traffic, put the sign in the ground, be done with it. And the other thing, kind of back on Bill there, did we ever get a an attorney fee for the city to add to the total cost yet? Or is that still in the works? That's all I got. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Mr. Morton, and then Madam Attorney, but can we have maybe Kevin's team look at that location that was mentioned, Jupiter and DeGroot?
Yeah, we'll have Public Works and PD take a look. Obviously, it's already the law not to block an intersection.
Yeah.
Right, so we'll look and see if it's possible, if the Uniform Traffic Control Manual, if we have the right distances. We'll take a look at it. It's not going to be the super high priority. We've got a lot going on in the next couple of weeks, but we'll definitely put it on our work list and take a look at it here shortly. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Attorney?
I still have not received the invoice in the Langevin matter.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker?
That concludes the public cards, Mayor.
Okay, so we are now on consent. Deputy Mayor, any comment cards?
No, Mayor.
Okay. Council, what's your pleasure?
Make a motion to approve consent.
I'll second it.
I got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Councilman Langevin. Is Councilman Johnson still on? Can I hear him?
Yes, Mayor, I'm here.
Okay. All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right. Passes unanimously. Madam Smith?
Resolution 2026-04, a resolution of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, honoring the military veterans of the United States Armed Forces in the City of Palm Bay and declaring the City of Palm Bay a Purple Heart City, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. We're now going on to public hearings.
Ordinance 2026-05, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, vacating and abandoning a portion of the south side 20-foot public utility and drainage easement located within Lot 26, Block 1410, Port Malabar Unit 30, according to the plat thereof, as recorded in Plat Book 17, page 14 of the Public Records of Brevard County, Florida, and legally described herein, providing for an effective date.
Thank you, ma'am. I'm going to open up the public hearing and defer to Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. The request is from Maury Doyle of WJHFL LLC, doing business as WJH LLC. The request is to vacate an easement. A potable water well was placed apparently incorrectly within 10-foot of a required, a 10-foot separation of an easement when a 20-foot separation was required. Staff, AT&T, Florida Power and Light, the Melbourne Tillman District, Spectrum, who all would have a say on that easement, have no objections to the vacation request. And the staff has no obvious issues or conflicts they identified. We do have staff here to answer questions if council desires.
Are there any questions? I don't see any from council. Is the applicant present?
Yes,
Would you like to present your case? Come on up.
Yeah, I'm John Brenner with Brenner Hagen, representing my client, and I was the one that made the error. Basically, graphic error that we made from the start. We didn't find the error until the well had been set and the house was virtually done. It is in kind of a situation where typically on side yard ditches where these right-of-ways are, it is noted as a 10-foot easement. The majority of them in the city plats are that way. Still no excuse. I mean, we simply missed the easement, we made an error, and we put the well in the wrong place.
Copy that. Understood. Is there anyone in the audience that wishes to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm closing the public hearing, asking for a motion.
Motion. So moved.
Got a motion by,
Second.
I got a motion and a third. I got a motion by Councilman Hammer, seconded by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, and third by Councilman Johnson. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. We're now on item number 2. Madam Smith.
Ordinance 2026-04, an ordinance of the City of Palm Bay, Brevard County, Florida, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 17, Land Development Code, Chapter 172, Development Review Procedures, Subchapter, Part 4, Zoning Map Amendment to PUD, by modifying the requirement of a development agreement for preliminary and final development plan applications, providing for the repeal of ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in a City of Palm Bay Code of Ordinances, providing for a severability clause, providing for an effective date.
Thank you. I'm opening up the public hearing, deferring to Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. I have nothing new to add on this second reading.
No questions of staff, gentlemen. I'm going to ask the audience, Mike, Councilman Hammer.
This is a little bit for staff and for council. I am going to continue to say this council and this staff is not going to be in the building forever. I like this. I know right now one of the big things we need to be doing is having these conversations with the developer and making sure the developer is doing their part before they come in the door. I'm wondering how we feel about doing this for a year and seeing how it works. And then bringing it back after a year, seeing how council and staff feels about that, because I know this staff and I know this council is gonna be stuck on making sure the developer is doing something, but I can't promise when I'm in a mountain in Tennessee that they're gonna be doing the same thing.
Copy that. Does that conclude your question, sir? Okay. I'm still good with this, as far as I'm concerned, but I'll defer to the rest of the council and then our city manager. So I'll take yours first, Councilman Johnson.
Man, I'm good with moving forward.
Thank you, sir. Deputy Mayor?
I appreciate Councilman Hammer's perspective. Most of these processes take longer than a year, and I don't think we'd actually see the results of what this is going to be in a year's time. So I like the way the language is and going to approve the way the ordinance is written.
And Councilman Langevin? Thank you, sir. Would you like to weigh in on that, Mr. Morton, at this time?
Other than, I did have a very productive conversation with Councilman Hammer, did understand his point very clearly. We discussed, basically two options. One was the year, which sounds like council's maybe not interested in. We also discussed the option of just putting forth a simple terms sheet, which we do now to identify issues. That does two things. It doesn't, stop or hinder this process if that's council's wishes, but it would place many issues of record or substance on the record for you and the community to see, and wouldn't be a big deviation. So that is just another option I'm throwing out there that Councilman Hammer and I discussed today.
Thank you.
And staff would be okay with that.
Thank you, sir. Is there anyone in the audience wish to speak for or against this item? Seeing none, I'm going to close the public hearing and ask for a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve with the terms sheet included as City Manager Morton discussed.
Gentlemen?
Can you explain that again, Mr. Morton, what the term sheet looks like?
Essentially, it'd be a draft, very simple, a page or two, and it would just be a beginning to just sort of disclose the issues that we're going to discuss or that we are discussing, gives council potentially an opportunity, the public opportunity to see that term sheet and add additional thoughts before we start negotiating the DA. So it's just, again, it's just an add to that process if that was council's wishes.
I mean, I feel like a term sheet is just another example for a preliminary development agreement.
Very, very similar, yes.
Okay.
You're not incorrect.
I'm not going to second the motion.
Okay, motion fails for lack of a second. I still need a motion, gentlemen.
I'm making a motion to approve ordinance 2026-04.
I'll second it.
I got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Councilman Langevin. Any further discussion, gentlemen? Councilman Johnson? Seeing none?
I'm good, man.
Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed,
Nay.
signify by saying nay. Passes 4-1. We are now on new business item number 1. Mr. Morton.
Thank you. Again, Honorable Mayor, City Council's proposal for consideration of an agreement with Strategic Government Resources for an interim chief procurement officer. Procurement touches every department, every project, every capital project, every vendor relationship, and more importantly, ultimately, every tax dollar that passes through the city. I think we have a unique opportunity right now to bring in an experienced interim chief procurement officer to comprehensively evaluate our system, correct operational challenges, and align our functions with the best interests of our departments, our business partners, and our citizens. I do think this interim outside leader brings in a great perspective and isn't tethered to looking for a job, so I think we'd get a very candid and in-depth organizational reevaluation. It does align with the 5 fiscal pillars that we're trying to implement this year, including fiscal discipline, infrastructure planning, public safety, economic momentum, and organizational reform. This is a strategic move, not a reactionary move. I did provide a cost analysis for you for the 6-month period terms and the draft contract. And obviously, I'm here to answer any questions that you have.
I don't see any questions, but I'm,
I have a question, Mayor.
okay. Go ahead.
Thank you, Mayor. So what was the process in narrowing it down, or was there a process in narrowing it down to Mr. David for this position?
My comment, Councilman Johnson, my comment before you wanted to ask, I was going to say, I'm just checking this gentleman's resume, and it is impeccable, but carry on. What was the process?
It was a very simple process, candidly. Thank you for the question, Councilman Johnson, of working with SGR to look at available candidates, just because I know they are a reputable provider of interim appointments. We had some resumes to review. Staff and I, Dr. Brian Robinson, Jason and myself reviewed them. This resume, of course, Mayor, to your point, jumped out as a eminently qualified individual that I think we're fortunate to have the opportunity to work with if that's council's pleasure. And so we landed on that and brought that forward as a discussion item to council.
Does that conclude your questions, Councilman
Yes,
Johnson?
sir. Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Martin.
Just wanted to also highlight to my colleagues, this gentleman retired from the United States Marine Corps as a major as well. Councilman Hammer?
I would like to remind everybody, we are doing a Doge, and I think having this influence here is going to be great because Doge isn't just for money, it's for operations. And this guy has the experience to come in and say, maybe, there's things that we're doing that are adding 2, 4, 7 steps. Even having a separate finance and procurement department might be something that he would think is a little much. I like having somebody that has the experience he does. His resume is impeccable. Being involved in procurement for the city, I know how extreme it is. I know how difficult it can be. I know at one point we hadn't touched our procurement since 1995. We were still getting approvals for something at $500, $2,000. You had to get approval for somebody to spend $2,500. So I know how much our process has grown in the last probably decade, but I would really like to see somebody with the knowledge he does sit down at a desk here.
Thank you. And I have to echo, I have to commend your comments. State Procurement Director for the state of Indiana, CPO for the state of Texas, and so on. I think our community is blessed to have this opportunity with someone that could look in and operationally see the benefit of how we could move forward and condense things around. So I'm really supportive of this as well. Any other questions, gentlemen? I need any speaker cards?
No, Mayor.
Okay, I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
I got a motion by Councilman Hammer, seconded by Councilman Jaffe, or Deputy Mayor Jaffe. As you were, Deputy Mayor. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Passes 5-0. We're now on item number 2, new business.
Excuse me, gentlemen, before we move on to new business, if I can.
Sir, you're out of order. We're now on item number 2. Mr. Morton.
Thank you, Honorable Mayor, City Council. We're here tonight to consider the bridge design at the C7 Canal Crossing from St. John's Heritage Park to, or St. John's Heritage Parkway, excuse me, to Fred Poppy Park. And I'm going to go ahead and ask our team that's presenting this item tonight to come on up. We're asking or looking for council direction on whether to proceed with the currently designed 4-lane concrete steel bridge or continue to look at alternative methods. And so asking staff, Kevin and Ms. Sullivan, thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Morton. Kevin Brinkley, Public Works Director. I'm presenting this item to you tonight because, as the city manager mentioned, we are seeking direction on how to proceed. A little bit of background. For anyone who has attended one of the fantastic events that the Recreation Department does at Fred Poppy Park, you'll notice that the only way in or out is Championship Circle coming off of Malabar. So in 2022, we asked Kimley Horn, one of our third-party vendors, to recommend a road and bridge that would connect St. John's Heritage Parkway to Championship Circle on the west side of the park. So we'd have 2 access points. In 2024, we gave them the notice to proceed to move forward with the design of the approved scope, which included approximately 1,300 linear feet of roadway, lighting and stormwater pond modifications, sidewalk and multi-use path construction, intersection improvements at St. John's Heritage Parkway, and the design of a 4-lane bridge structure across the C7 Canal, which is a Melbourne-Tillman Canal. Through 2025, they were working on the design of that bridge, and in 2025, the project was paused to consider an alternative bridge material. So that's where we are today. The packet that you have includes staff research and analysis of the alternative bridge material, and we're at the point where we're seeking council direction on whether to move forward with the alternative material or to continue with the current design of the bridge as it is.
Okay, thank you. Any speaker cards, Deputy Mayor?
Bill Batten.
And Council, I'm sure you'll have questions.
I have a question after, Mayor.
Okay, well, I've got Master Chief Batten. I almost inducted him into the Army, calling him Sergeant Major. Master Chief.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. I have 7 items to address on this. Item number 1, the bridge to Fred Poppy Park. It's been a long and winding road to get nowhere so far. Item number 2, this started out as a $1 million grant that we applied for a campground, which we had to give back because we failed to meet our commitments, which made the city of Palm Bay look bad. Item number 3, the bridge proposal started out at $2.5 million. It then jumped to $4 million. And the last report I just looked on this one is now at $6 million. $6 million just to stop traffic jams coming out of the park. That's more than we spend for repairing our roads for daily traffic movement. Item number 4, how much has this project cost to this point with nothing to show for it except paper? Item number 5, taking money from Nexus 32908 when the park is located in 32907, one of the fastest growing areas in Palm Bay. That's like saying, and when I talked about this before, they say, yeah, well, the borders between 3298 and 32907 are the same. Well, that's like saying the border between Russia and Ukraine make it the same country. Item number 6, the money from 32908 could go towards a professional BMX track in the compound, which would help promote the area. But instead, we will do nothing in the area and keep the compound as a trash and body dump area for the city. Thank you.
Next speaker.
That concludes, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Johnson, you had a question?
Yes, Mayor. I'm actually with Mr. Batten on this one. My first question is how much have we spent up to this point? And the reason being, I'm asking this, my second question is, outside of special events like the Family Christmas Extravaganza, how much traffic flow are we experiencing in Fred Poppy Park to justify moving forward? Initially, I was all for it, but with the price tag where it's at, I'm more on the lines of taking a pause. So I would like to know the numbers of how much traffic flow is going in and out of Fred Poppy Park on average, whether it's a monthly basis or whatever the case may be, to justify spending this amount. Because at this point, I have a hard time supporting allocating $6 million for the bridge, or a wooden bridge that could be a catastrophe within who knows how long. I see all the concerns staff has put in regards to wooden bridges with the maintenance and them being fire hazards of that nature and the heavy traffic flow. They're not built for that. So if we were to move forward, it will have to be the original bridge, but I'm not for moving forward at this time unless the data can show and support the need for it with the traffic flow in and out of Fred Poppy Park.
Okay, Mr. Morton?
As well, staff come up and address some of the questions. I want to be clear, I'm not kicking the can or the buck. This is a legacy project, to your guys' point. It started long before I think any of the staff, maybe except for Christine here tonight, addressing it had anything to do. So it's really why we're here tonight, to look for direction and discuss those options. I know Kevin does have some data here for us to answer some of those questions.
Thank you, Mr. Morton. I've tried to make as many notes as possible. If I don't address all the questions, please make sure that I follow up on any of them that I've missed. As far as the expense for the bridge, to Mr. Batten's point, it is true that the original estimated cost of $2.5 million has increased. A lot of it is due to the addition. We had to add a 48-inch pipe for stormwater, sidewalk thickness increasing from 4 inches to 6 inches, and for instance, the cost of unit costs, like the PPI on concrete has increased by, I think, 30% in the last 5 years just on the cost of concrete. So a lot of the cost of the actual bridge itself, as designed, has not increased by that much, but the overall project includes a quarter of a mile of roadway, numerous sidewalks, into the park and things like that. So those costs have actually swelled pretty significantly over that time. Mr. Batten asked about the amount spent to date. I have $435,000 as the number. Somebody will throw something if I'm, okay, so roughly $435,000 spent to date for the design services of the bridge. And as far as the TIF assignments, that's something I would have to defer to the city attorney's office for that question, when he was asking about the TIF.
I think one of the questions were, meaning the traffic coming out of the park for special events. I'm not sure you're qualified to respond to that, or PD. I'm not sure if you did a study on that.
I don't know if I don't have traffic data with me. Kimberly Horn is actually here, so they may be able to speak to that a little bit. So, pass to him. Thank you.
Well, I'm just trying to focus on what Councilman Johnson asked. Carry on, sir.
Good evening. Matthew Gillespie, Kimberly Horn, 200 South Orange Avenue, Suite 600, Orlando, Florida. I did not bring the traffic study with me for this, but I will say that in the design of the bridge and the other access point, one of the number one purposes was to alleviate the backup of traffic down Champion Circle and Malabar Road when events do occur. Adding the main roadway, which is planned to be a 4-lane road, is planned to be the new dedicated main entrance to the park. Right now, that roadway, even Champion Circle, it goes out to Malabar, is not even owned by the city. It is actually an easement that is granted for access. So this would be providing a permanent full right-of-way to a major 4-lane road that's planned for improvements. The traffic movement is drastically improved with having the 2 points of access for safety and life safety and emergency services. So the Malabar Road entrance would be the backup, with the St. John's Heritage being the primary access after the roadway is built. And we're building it for 4 lanes for future development and improvements, adding more events, more features. My firm also, we did the master planning for Fred Poppy as well for planning other future improvements. Without that roadway connecting to St. John's Heritage, any additional improvements at the park is really going to be hindered. So.
Copy that.
Yeah.
I've got other questions, so I'm not sure if they'll pertain to you, but Councilman Hammer was first. Oh, as you were, Councilman Hammer. Councilman Johnson, does that conclude your question, sir?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay. Councilman Hammer?
Yeah, while we're in here, I just want to remind everybody originally what the intention of Palm Bay even getting Fred Poppy Park was. When we got Fred Poppy Park from the county, it was Fred Poppy Park, the pool, and the senior center. That was supposed to all be covered by the ROI that we got in from the RV park. So when that RV park went away, we lost the potential for all the ROI from the RV park. So now we have moved not only Fred Poppy, but the senior center and the pool into something that the city's paying for without the ROI of the RV park that we planned on. So me, myself, I would really like to look back into bringing that RV park back, because that was the ROI that we were supposed to have to pay for these things that we no longer have. So I like this idea, but this was all supposed to come from the money from the RV park. And here we are trying to build it with, I mean, yeah, we have impact fees, but we had profit coming into Palm Bay to pay for all these things, and we no longer do. So
Okay.
I'm trying to see where we can go from here, because we had a takeaway and we need to find a way to put it back.
Okay, so I'm hearing you, but let me just weigh in on something that Councilman Johnson said. Aside from one event, but if you're at the park, and I can't tell you about traffic studies, but I can tell you that when it's soccer season, when there are tournaments out there for softball and baseball, that creates those traffic jams and the opportunity for growth. This is why we were going down this range. It's just not those special events, it's the everyday use or weekend use, even football. So those are things that we need to always consider. How are we going to increase that usage? Because right now we have kids on waiting lists to try and play sports within our cities because of that infrastructure in and of itself. So if we could turn around these tournaments, those are my thoughts, gentlemen. But I want us to get back on the reason why we went down this path. You guys want to switch, then I agree when Deputy Mayor said, hey, wait a minute, why don't we look at the cost of a wooden bridge? A wooden bridge may look great. You know, we did the exercise, Deputy Mayor, and I'm grateful for you to bring it up because it was a good exercise. It really was in that wholeness of trying to see where we could actually make this work. The reason I don't think it works at this time, even though the exercise was time consuming, is because a wooden bridge may not be the solution when we're continuing to grow as a city. We have juveniles out there, you know, there are things that we need to consider, whereas a wooden bridge wouldn't fit, even though it may be a lot more costly to kind of keep up the maintenance on those. So those were my concerns, but I love the exercise that we did as a body. My whole thing, gentlemen, is growing, how are we going to grow that part? Right along what you're saying, increasing or bringing back or trying to bring back campgrounds. Keep in mind, there's a campgrounds that's going across the street, supposedly, right? And it's supposed to happen. So I'm not sure that would be a good opportunity. And right now, I don't think the funds are available for the TDC that we gave back. So those are thoughts that we always need to consider, is how do we create that roadway and make it safe as the park continues to grow. Gentlemen, it's not the park of 10 years ago. Now I see, and I don't live so far from there, but I see several activities, not just special events. So I'm going to go now to Councilman or Deputy Mayor Jaffe, and then after that, Councilman Langevin.
Thank you, Mayor. You know, I know it sounds weird talking about a wood bridge, and the reason why I brought the idea of a wood bridge up is because I've built timber bridges. I've built timber benches all over the country, and they're not as common in Florida as they are in other states, but this is a vehicular design bridge with a capacity that can hold 80,000 pounds. I built a bridge at Universal Studios that had 20 cement trucks parked on it and an 81,000-pound excavator on both ends. And the bridges are well-designed, well-engineered, and about a third of the price of a structural concrete or precast bridge, which, going back to the task order, is saying that staff at the time wanted to move forward with a concrete steel bridge, but I looked at the construction documents and it's a precast, cast-in-place structure. So I'd like to hear from Kimley Horn whether that methodology was used, and if council is a hard no on a timber bridge, is there a way to modify the design of the bridge now to a two-lane structure with the ability to expand it to a 4-lane in the future? I built bridges in Northport and Port Charlotte in this fashion, where you go ahead and put the infrastructure and the pilings and the precast pilot caps in with the ability to fly box beams in later to expand the width of the bridge. But looking at the design of the bridge now, it is something that you'd see on I-95. This thing is stout. It is stout. And I personally don't believe that the $2.4 million engineer's estimate is accurate. I believe it's going to be well over $5 or $6 million when we're all said and done. So I'd like to hear from Kimley Horn on why a concrete steel bridge wasn't designed and how comfortable they feel with their engineer's estimate.
Okay.
Okay. So the design originally, when we started this project, staff had changed from when we first started to where we are now. Frank Wanabe used to be the city engineer at the time. We presented the span that we had to span the canal, and during those time periods, we had discussed kind of different bridges, whether we're doing a T-slab or I-beam slab, floor I-slab, like different geometries for them. We presented a few different costs, like on a cost per square foot basis. A wood bridge was not considered at that time. We have not done any wood bridges. There doesn't exist any wood bridges over any of the canals that are out here for vehicular crossings. And being this close, well, being environmental, the staff had never asked us to, no one considered a wood bridge, point blankly. Everybody said, we want a DOT standard bridge. We want to design to DOT standards. So that was the direction we went with as guidance from staff. And we did, the different options of DOT bridges, which the wood one was not one. So we presented the different ones. The cost per square foot, the cheapest came to the design that we have in the plans. Also, coordination with Melbourne Tillman Water Control District. The design was requested to minimize columns and supports in Canal C7. So a consideration of a smaller bridge or wood bridge with, more pilings in the canal was not something that was on the table. We presented the concrete bridge to Melbourne Tillman, originally with more columns in the canal that would reduce the beam heights for the spans. Melbourne Tillman requested only columns at the toe of the slopes, so only 2 that we could put in. So then the bridge costs increased, the beams increased in depth because the spans got longer. So we went through all this process over a 6-month period of time, roughly, and we arrived at the design that we have now. The cost numbers is based on FDOT historic averages price of concrete, steel, quantities. We did put together a detailed estimate using FDOT last 6-month averages for costs. So,
Does that answer your questions?
Now, is that pricing based on like a postage stamp site like this with the one-off bridge, or is that pricing based off of a large expansion of highway that has a lot of bridge work where equipment's already mobilized? Because this is going to require a very large crane with a diesel hammer on it, which I think about a year to build this particular bridge. I'm just really having a hard time understanding the math at $2.5 million. A timber bridge could be built in about 8 weeks. And I'm not saying that's that's the solution here. Just something I brought up. And a timber bridge can free span 100 feet, and so the current design of this bridge is 100 feet. So you would have a very similar piling setup as the precast structure. And although Florida does not recognize timber bridges as a DOT, it is designed to a DOT spec with guardrails, handrails, vehicular capacity weight. And it's all heavily treated timber for rot, decay, moisture.
I've done wood bridges too, as well. So I am not the structural engineer for the project, to be clear. I am the civil site engineer, so I'm speaking for them. I don't know the answer to your question right off the top of my head about what was included in the cost there. Then that was the basis for the cost numbers. I have to get back with them and see if any additional cost considerations for those items were done. Regarding your question about if the bridge could be built as a 2-lane now, yes, it could be, but that's not what we were directed. The request from previous staff was, let's go ahead and do a 4-lane bridge, because we didn't want to come back later and spend any more money later, so we would put the bridge in now for the 4-lane, and we would stripe it down for less lanes, so we would not have to spend more money coming in at a later time to mobilize more crews, more equipment to do it. So that was the request at the time that we delivered what staff's request was.
So you're stating that the bridge will actually be designed as a 4-lane, but its initial use will be as a 2-lane?
Yes, the striping, it is striped with lesser lanes because until St. John's Heritage Parkway widening project is completed, we don't have the incoming outbound lanes that are needed. The geometry of the roadway can't accommodate it. So until that project is done, then it would be restriped to a full 4-lane access. That's always been the plan.
When is that road going to be done? St. John's Heritage Parkway?
I don't remember off the top of my head when it was. Several years. I think it was in design recently, and
I don't even think it's funded, right?
Yeah, the construction phase is not currently funded.
Get on the mic,
I'm sorry, sir.
Kevin.
Design is at 60%, construction phase is not fully funded.
Okay.
Does that conclude your questions?
For now, thanks, Mayor.
Councilman Langevin.
All right. So my question is, so I think Councilman Johnson brought up some good points. Well, first of all, I think everybody brought up really good points. But Councilman Johnson brought up some good points. So my question is, either to the city manager, or to Kevin, whoever wants to answer best, is with us going into a Doge, and now that you guys have been here for a little bit and understand everything going on in the city, like, is this the project that you guys are comfortable with and you want to spend the money on, first and foremost?
To answer the question, these funds are parks funds, so I would not feel, they're parks and facts fees funds, so I would not feel comfortable answering for parks.
I can weigh in. I mean, that's the point we're here tonight. That's the whole reason we're here. We're 95% complete in design. I think the reasons you heard, we wanted council to weigh in. I mean, it's going to limit park expansion now into the future. It's going to limit the park expansion plan. It does create bottlenecks, and again, this has been ongoing for a long time. And we're here to weigh and see what council wants to do. Concrete bridge, wood bridge, no bridge. I mean, I think you guys are hitting the right discussion. We could bring it back if you guys need more time to think or need more additional information, to the next meeting. But we don't know. Yeah, we're going to a Doge effort. That's a great question. We also have impact fees to spend and projects to complete to grow a city. So we're really here for council direction. Mr. Hammer brought up the RV resort or park. And so there's been all these iterations and ideas over the years, and we're just trying to refresh where we're at and where council wants to go, because I don't think staff has this isn't like a Malabar Mitten project, or we'd be, let's go, 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 go. This is a vision project, and it brings a lot of different elements to the table that I think it is appropriate that council give us direction on.
So we're 95% there is what you're saying?
In design, correct. So 400 some odd $1,000 has been expended. We're in design, and the whole idea was, hey, we've done a bunch of homework, at least where the homework we have, wanted to present that, and ask council, say, where are we really at? What's the direction? Where are we headed? And do we want to finish? And what way do we want to finish? And is that value proposition, still there? And that's the real honest question a new staff is asking of a council.
Yeah, and I that 4-lane bridge has got me, right? Wouldn't it be great that the St. John's Bridge going to the county side, that would have been 4 lanes, right? I'm just saying, that design, so that, I think the 4-lane bridge, if we're gonna go down this road, I think that's the right way to go, is that 4-lane, because even though we're not funded there, but we're building for the future. This is not for us to enjoy. This is for the future, for our grandchildren, for me, my grandchildren anyway, to enjoy.
Yeah,
Councilman-
well, I was still going, but, so on that, so I respect your answer, gentlemen. And if this, I understand it's impact fees, and so that limits what we can spend it on and certain things. So on that note, I'm just gonna put it out there. In my opinion, I voted for the deputy mayor because he brings a certain expertise to the council that I thought we needed, and he's shown that expertise tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and trust him and be in favor of the wooden bridge.
Councilman Hammer?
First thing, I just want to make sure everybody knows, this isn't money that we can spend on roads and everything. This is impact fees for the Parks Department. This isn't road that can be spent on expanding Babcock or Malabar or anything. This is specifically impact fees from the parks impact fees. My second thing is I would be 100% in support of this if the bridge would be DOT certified. I would love the idea of a wooden bridge, but I also know there are bridges, I want to say it's the pedestrian bridge that's over there. I want to say they go out there and they steal the rails off of it, don't they? So, I mean, it's not unheard of for these bridges to be messed with by people out there. And I do think we should have the strongest, and a DOT certified bridge is important for me. So if that was, I would be 100% behind this if it was DOT certified. But we have people, I hate to say it, we have people that go out there and mess with our bridges. And I like that certification.
Okay, Deputy Mayor?
I had a question for purchasing. Is there a procurement process at this stage of the game where the city can actually go out and get a bid on the current design to verify the engineer's estimate of 2.5 million, 2.4 million?
At this stage of the game, there is not. With the design being 95% complete, we can reach out to Kimley Horn, who can do some investigations with feasibility studies within their points of contact. But as far as bidding and out, would violate the procurement process once we got the design done and out to bid.
I think it's a good point to discuss in the future, if the city were to move forward with a project like this in the future, why design build is so important. Because the contractor owns the bid, they own the design, and they own the price the entire way through. Right now, we're relying on a third party who doesn't build these for a living, designs them, but doesn't build them, and then relying on historical data that may or may not align with the actual job site conditions that we have in our project. And just like a vertical construction, there is horizontal work just like this that could be design build, or even furthermore, specific engineered scopes of work like bridges could be removed from the primary engineer scope of work and bid and designed separately by a specialty contractor. Go ahead.
So part of that is for staff to duly note those comments moving forward.
Yeah, my biggest thing is, it's 95% complete, task order from 2022, council in 23, voted on this. You know, if there isn't buy-in on the wood design, which I completely understand, is council open to discussion to a two-lane structure with the ability to expand if Kimley Horn's estimate isn't correct? You know, if they come back and the contractor's bids are $5 million, what are we gonna do? You know, so if we have a VE add alternate design to do a two-lane bridge with the ability to expand it, if the bids come in aligned with the task order.
Mr. Morton, so if I'm hearing you correctly, Deputy Mayor, moving this forward, but if the price tag goes higher, have them redesign it for two-lane. Is that, am I tracking you correctly?
Correct.
Would there be a cost to redesign that? Yes. And would that not be part of the cost analysis? Is that part of your discussion too, or?
Yeah, I'm just not I'm not buying in that this bridge concrete, the way it's designed, is gonna be $2.4 million. I think it's gonna be north of $5 million.
Okay. So, yes.
If I could mention, we could put the bid out now at 95% design. Council always has the right to reject awards. So I just wanted to throw that out there.
Say again, Mr. Morton?
No, I'm sorry, I was clarifying some. Deputy Mayor said he asked that question. I said, yes, he did, but I think it was understood at the time. Can we go out and shop prices? We can't shop prices, but we could put it out to bid in an official process, and then council can accept or reject that. It would give you that data that Deputy Mayor is correct, that I think you're looking for.
So is that something you like to do?
That's cool.
But that, still on a 4-lane?
95% construction drawings, put it out for.
Let's see what the
see where
deal
we're
is?
at, check the temperature.
Okay. So I need a motion.
Make a motion that we allow staff to go ahead and put this out formally to bid at a 95% construction plans.
Second?
Second. Go ahead.
I got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Mayor Medina. You want to weigh in some more?
When you're done, sir, I'm sorry.
No, Mayor.
Carry on, sir.
I don't want to interrupt the vote. I apologize. I was trying to weigh in after. I just wanted to thank, we have an interim acting procurement official. Nick stepped up. He has been doing a phenomenal job in finding solutions. I just wanted to acknowledge that. I was going to wait till after the vote. I apologize.
Copy that. I got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Mayor Medina. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Is Councilman Johnson still on?
Aye.
Thank you, sir. Passes 5-0. We're now on item number 3. Mr. Morton.
Thank you again, Honorable Mayor, City Council. We're here tonight to discuss consideration of amending the material management agreement with Republic Services to implement monthly billing for all residential solid waste customers. I do have staff here tonight to present, essentially moving off of the quarterly or other billing methods and moving to a monthly uniform collection. Mr. Brinkley?
Thank you very much. Kevin Brinkley, Public Works Director. Mr. Morton said it perfectly. At present, if you're a residential customer within the city and you receive the city's utility services, you also get your solid waste bill monthly. But if you are not on the city's utility services, you receive your bill quarterly. So that dual billing structure creates some inefficiencies, some administrative headaches, complicates our reconciliation process. We're hoping to streamline it and also make it more efficient for the citizen that they would be getting a monthly bill. A lot of times our customer service fields calls asking why my bill for solid waste is $90 when my neighbor's is only $29, things like that. But that's really just because you're getting a quarterly bill as opposed to a monthly bill. So this would be led off with a letter campaign to make sure everybody's aware. Over the next 60 days, we would be doing mailing letters to everyone that would be impacted and also an insert, thank you, to the bills that the quarterly
utilities?
customers will be getting in April as well. Yeah, couldn't think of the word insert there. But just to make sure that everybody knows, hey, this is changing, this is what you'll be seeing in the future, and happily answer any questions.
You have a question?
Yeah, just a couple questions. Number one, what's the cost of the mailing campaign? And two, if it's costly, can we just put a notice on the next bill saying, hey, on such and such date, this is going to be the new implementation? That way you're killing two birds with one stone, essentially.
Yep.
So if I can, Council, Mayor, Dennis Bont, what we would actually do is the quarterly bill goes out in April, so it's good timing. We would put an insert in that quarterly bill. We would also work with the PIO, and we would post social media, city website, and then we currently send out letters now for other reasons. We would also add into those mailings, so that would all be encompassed in what we're already doing, so it wouldn't be an extra cost. We may have to go out, depending on what our feedback is, and then send some individual letters to the customers, just to make sure that they know. So it would probably be a 60-day process before we switched over to the monthly billing, giving people time to adjust.
And then another question is, some of the garbage is actually tied to the water bill, some people, monthly water bill, and then the quarterly, that's folks that are on well and septic, or that's billed separately. Is it going to be stay on the water bill, or will the trash bill be separate altogether for
No,
everybody?
it'll all stay together. The people with city water would not change. The people with quarterly wouldn't really change, except they're getting their bill on monthly.
Okay.
And just to let you know, what started this is in 2024, we received a huge influx of calls with people asking about their bill, why their bill went up. And obviously, when the annual percentage goes up, a monthly bill shows up a lot less than a quarterly bill. That got us looking into it. And then we also discovered that there was a lot of active services that really were not active. The lists were not manageable. We have a large rental community. A lot of that is on well water. People leave a month and a half into a quarterly bill. They leave. They get sent the quarterly bill because the house is vacant, and we're not collecting the money back, and we don't know until somebody else goes to register their water account. So we discovered with Republic that the list that they had for active service was not exactly the list that utilities had for active service. This affected billing, collection, and this is where we started, how can we correct this? And just to manage, like if you were managing your checkbook, you would want everything in a nice, neat order, so monthly becomes a very simple way to manage. Plus, instead of paying this larger amount quarterly, you are now budgeting the smaller amount monthly like the rest of the city that has water. So that's kind of what got us started, and we're still working to straighten out the collections. We have a lot of accounts that just fell by the wayside, and Republic is picking them up thinking that it's still an active account. But like I said, with the rental community and it's growing, it kind of got out of hand. So this is a way to clean up and do some housekeeping and just have a better system altogether.
Cool. Mr. Bond, I think you do a great job.
Thank
And
you.
I think you did a great job answering all the questions so far. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any speaker cards?
Bill Batten.
Bill Batten, 586 Ocean Spray Street Southwest. I know it's not a lot of money, but I'm one of the quarterly people, and I try to pay my bills when they come in, and I write a check to the city of Palm Bay to pay my bill. But then I have to pay for that postage. Postage for me is entirely different than it is for government identities. I will be paying $9.60 to pay my pickup. You know, that's not a lot. But then if I'm thinking, well, if that's what I have to pay more, then you add that to everybody else that's currently on the quarterly funding source, and you add that up over everybody, which is what? Aren't we around 40% of the residents in Palm Bay don't have city water and sewer, so they're quarterly? Now that means that many residents within the city of Palm Bay are now paying $9.60 when they were paying $3.60 a year. That's a significant amount of cash. You know, it's not a lot of money, but it's when you spread it out over that many people, it's noticeable. And we're the people that don't get the city and water, and we don't get the sewer. So it was a nice little benefit that we didn't have to pay every month an additional cost to mail in the check to you, right? So I've got a solution that makes me happy and makes everybody else that's on quarterly happy, and it might even make the people that are on city water and sewer that get their monthly bill happy. Instead of sending it out monthly, you send everybody quarterly instead, And that way you save all the monthly mailing that the city has to pay for, and you only send it out quarterly, so you cut that entire mailing bill down by down to 1/3 of what the total cost would be. You met everybody's objectives. We just spent thousands and thousands of dollars for a management system software package for the city, and that will help solve part of that problem. It's just a mechanism to make it work out, to solve their problems, because we had confusions between quarterly versus monthly. Just go the opposite direction and go quarterly instead of monthly. I saved you money, saved me money, and saved all the other 40% of the residents that don't have it, saved them money. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker. Keep those.
Butcher end.
Butcher Rand, 219 Trenton Avenue. I pay my bill a year in advance. And I do that because I travel during the summer months, during the winter months, and I don't want to be hit with a shortage on that. So I've already paid for the year. If this goes into effect, how will I get a refund? Will I get it from the city? Will I get it from the garbage company? Where at? Or will I get a bill and then I have to come back over and get the money from the city again? Am I making sense to you? Yes? No?
Whether it's a year or every month, wouldn't it be the same amount?
That I don't know, because we don't know. You're not telling us what the monthly fee is. It's not broke down on the bill that I get. I don't get a bill.
We'll get, if that's your question, we'll get an answer for you.
Okay, but if it goes into effect to a monthly, they would have to give me a refund because the garbage company would want their payment, correct? It's not going to come from the city anymore. It's going to come from me.
Okay, we'll get a response for you.
Okay, thank you. That's all.
Next speaker.
Robert Stice.
Robert Stice, 1796 Woodenbrook Drive. Give you a little perspective on that. I have 172 houses in my HOA. When we have to add another sheet because we have some specifics going on, our postage is $416 for 172 houses. So I'm not going to do the math by that, but keep it in perspective. That's quite a chunk of change. Also, 40% of the city, is it 40%? Not paying for water and sewer because they're on septic? How does that equate? So I think you're really missing a point with what the postage is initially going to cost. I would have somebody do the math on that. And then, also, how's this going to be received by our customers? But like I said, the postage ain't cheap. So, thank you.
Next speaker.
Concludes, Mayor.
Would you please address the concerns?
So let me start with Mr. Orend. People who want to pay annually, and we do have a few customers that do, that doesn't change. You would still pay your bill annually. The amount doesn't change just because you went to monthly. The amount for a year of service is what it is. So we do have a few customers that pay annually. That would always still be an option. If somebody wanted to pay their bill for the entire year, they could do so. And they would not receive a monthly bill because they've already paid it a year in advance. So that part doesn't change. As far as the quarterly, we could look into something where if they are an actual homeowner or homesteaded and they've owned their property and they want to remain quarterly. But the issue still becomes, and I understand the postage issue, and we looked into that, there is a lot of money left out there with the transition of people moving and the city doesn't collect, and there's a lot of money hanging out there. So management-wise and collection-wise, it's just a better way to go. If everybody did quarterly, now before you realize delinquencies, you're 90 days in. And that's not for the good citizens that are paying their bills on time and doing that. That's for the rental houses and the landlords and items like that. So the collection process, instead of being a 30, 60-day process becomes a 90, 120-day process. And that's what hangs everything up. And so the amount of money that the city doesn't necessarily collect or loses is a lot more than what postage is for the month. So we do weigh that out, and we have listened to the citizens. And these are some of the concerns that originally came in. Once we started looking at the citizens' concerns, we realized we had a huge bookkeeping issue in the fact that Republic is not on the same par as what the utilities department is, and things are being collected and not collected. And we've worked really hard over the last year to get the list down, get the homes down, check vacant houses. But that's what quarterly brings to you, is a lot of times you don't know until you're 90 days in. And then that creates a collection issue. And we do have a huge amount of rentals. The goal is not to hit the homeowners, people with homesteaded properties and HOAs with extra postage. But the amount that's left on the table because of this is huge to the city.
Thank you. Mr. Morton?
I was just going to clarify, and Dennis, maybe you don't want to sit down just yet if you don't mind, but, part of what we did earlier this year is we did the account reconciliation. And the idea was we had people, lots of accounts actually in the city that were paying for one cart, but they had 2, 3, 4. We had some with 10. And so your neighbors are paying for your garbage disposal, you're not paying for it, right? And so we have the same situation. The quarterly accounts, I know you have the number in your head, Dennis, are disproportionately in arrears. And when the arrears are non-collected, it's not the magic city that pays for it. You're paying for it. Your neighbors are paying for it. You guys are paying for that money that's hanging out there. You're paying that interest cost. You're paying that cash carry. You're paying for the non-collections and the cost of your service. It costs the cost of your service to increase. And so was it 25% upwards? It's a disproportionate number of the quarterly accounts are in arrears
Yes.
versus the standard monthly, or the numbers was in the single digits, if I recall your
Yes.
data correctly. So I just wanted to point out that was one of the impetuses here. It's this overall, and again, not trying to convince you, I'm just saying the data behind this, our methodology, so everyone can understand, was it's the reconciliation of truing up the costs, getting people to pay for the service they're using, and make sure that no one else is financing the garbage except the users in the account. This hopefully helps us reconcile that true cost of garbage, tipping, tonnage, as we move forward in reconciliation and as we move forward to the next garbage contract negotiation cycle, we can very more easily account for how much money it's costing. When I first came, I remember I saw a change order for a budget transfer, and it was over $1 million.
Yes.
Because of this very issue. And so we're having to find $1 million to put it back in the garbage account to wait for the revenue to come in. And so it's just really trying to make this more fair all the way around, and again, the tracking and the cash management flow. So it's just to give the backstory a little bit more on the rationale behind it.
And that is correct. And I will say too, part of the cart issue also stemmed from the quarterly, because people would leave, take their carts with them, move to another house. Now they have 4 carts instead of 2 carts. But again, you're not catching that for 90 days or 120 days. And over 5 years, that led to a huge amount of people not having carts. It also had to do with the waste management switchover, but that played into it as well. So it's really the extension of time and how you can manage your money coming in and get people. Plus, I will say, there's a lot of people out there that complain on a regular basis about the amount of a quarterly bill, because it's $90 for trash, but then it's also stormwater mixed in. When that comes in a monthly bill, it's a more consolidated, smaller amount, and it's sometimes easier to budget for some people. So,
Thank you. Okay, council, I need a motion.
So moved.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe,
Second.
seconded by Councilman Johnson. Thanks for staying with us there, Councilman. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Passes unanimously. We're now on item number 4. Mr. Morton.
All right, thank you again, Honorable Mayor, City Council. This is the federal legislative priorities we discussed. These are due by the end of day on Monday. And so what staff has done, and we'll go down any range that council wants, these are just some recommendations, of course, as you're well aware, identified 6 potential projects for submission. We focused our efforts after the first initial identification and draft. We honed that down to focus on 6 specific transportation projects. I'll read them really quickly. They are summarized in a matrix, and then there's individual legislative sheets for submittal. One was an ITS traffic enhancement project at Emerson Drive and Babcock Street, as well as Jupiter Boulevard and San Filippo Drive. The request for the federal request would be $1 million with a city match of $226,415 and transportation impact fees. Item 2 in your packet is intersection safety improvement from San Filippo Drive Southeast and Wyoming Drive Southeast. The legislative request is $2.4 million with a city match of $600,000 from transportation impact fees. Item 3 was intersection safety improvements from San Filippo Drive Southeast and Jupiter Boulevard Southeast with a request to the federal government of $2.4 million and a city match of $600,000. Item number 4 was intersection safety improvement at San Filippo Drive and Cogan Drive, a request of $2.4 million, again with a city match of $600,000. Item 5 is intersection safety improvements at Jupiter Boulevard Southwest and Garvey Road, federal request of $2.4 million and a city match of $600,000. And lastly, Malabar Road Northwest and St. John's Heritage Parkway intersection improvement to replace existing temporary traffic signalization and a permanent multi-lane roundabout. Request from the federal government of $3 million, city match of $1.5. The reason these numbers are presented the way they are was we were informed by our federal lobbyist, and it was confirmed. $3 million is the absolute upper end, really, of a carryable request to move to the federal government, and of course, the more match we can get, the better off we are. We did try to position that match to be in the percentage range of successful legislative priority requests from Congressman Herodopoulos, who hit several home runs for us last year.
Well, thank you. So, are there any speaker cards, Deputy Mayor?
No, Mayor.
All right. So let's get to it. Let's go by the easy hanging fruit, so to speak, right? Because we're gonna select the top. What I'm thinking 3 or 4. It says 4, but the top 3. How are we with Malabar Road and St. John's Heritage Parkway, the intersection? That's item number 6, guys. City match is 1.5. Is that roundabout that our city manager just described? Are we all good with that one, or is there anyone that says otherwise?
I see that as being one of our top.
Okay, so let's say number 6 is the important one, right? Okay, are we all in agreement with that, Councilman Johnson? Councilman Johnson?
Mayor, yes, so I already have my list of my top 4. For me, it's items 1, 3, 5, and 6. So I'll go
Okay,
ahead and
so
say
we got
that
6, all right,
on the
we got
record.
6. Well, I was going, item number 1 is the ITS. You know, I'm good with that. So we got item 1, is everyone good with that? That's perfect. So item 6 and item number 1, and then item number 3, it was mentioned by you, which is San Filippo and Jupiter. Is that correct?
Yes.
Everyone
1, 3,
good, San
5, and
Filippo
6.
could use that, so I'm good with San Filippo and Jupiter as well. Gentlemen, thumbs up. Councilman Hammer, Deputy Mayor. So yeah, so we got those top 3, 1, 3, and 6. Mr. Morton, did you want us to go to a number 4?
If you wouldn't mind, if that's okay, because when we submit that, I'm sure there'll be another round of conversations with our order. We'll refresh that one more time with the Congressman's office. If they do come back and suggest a change or a pivot, or if the Congressman knows something we don't with a companion project or something in alignment with FDOT, we would like to have a number order so we can make those moves on council's wishes without having to come back. So if you can give us this priority order, that would just be super helpful.
So gentlemen, I'll tell you where I'm at. I think San Filippo as a whole it needs improvement. That's on this list. So I would go with number 2, Wyoming. I'm good with either number 2 or even item number 4. But in order of precedence, I'd rather go with 2 first.
I think 2 with the fire station.
Yes,
in
sir.
there, So I agree with that.
Okay.
So mine is 5, just because where the fire station is, we do have a light there. And if you know, where Jupiter meets Garvey, there has been a number of accidents there, and it's a four-way stop. So there is lights at the other ones. There is no light at Jupiter and Garvey.
That's good, only it's $600,000 more. So I'm not gonna, whatever the council wants, either two
I'm
or
okay
five, I'm good.
I'm okay with the majority, but I just wanted to let everybody know that's the only one that doesn't have a light. And it is a four-way stop. And there is a school that's right there, Jupiter Elementary, but there's a school with Odyssey. And if you ever come out of Odyssey, at school time, it's backed up. So I am behind either the Wyoming in San Filippo or the one for Jupiter and Garvey.
See,
But,
number 5, Jupiter and Garvey, you're talking about a four-way stop sign.
yeah.
But then item number 2 is exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Is that fire station.
I'm
as
behind
well,
either or.
where- Okay.
So,
All right,
whatever
so
the majority goes for, I am.
we were all on number 2. Is there any changes to that? All right, so we got it. 1, 3, 6, and 2, or 1, 2, 3, and 6. All right, is that good? I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion by Deputy Mayor Jaffe, seconded by Councilman Hammer. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes unanimously. We're now on reports. Councilman Langevin.
Yes, Mayor. First, before I give my report, what are we calling this? Is it the Citizens Oversight?
Accountability Task Force.
Accountability,
Task Force.
Citizens Accountability Task Force. Okay, I've got my appointment for the Citizens Accountability Task Force. Before I say it, so I'm going to appoint Dr. Rick Adante, and just to give him a little shout out, because I think this is a very important board, and we kind of made a pledge up here to try to put some very high, affluent people on the board. So, Dr. Rick Adante, he was a finalist in the astronaut program. He ended up doing ground missions for NASA, wrote some phenomenal papers. He's a doctor in space psychology, basically. Worked at FIT, and he recently got an award at Mar-a-Lago. So I think we got a good citizen advisory task force there.
Thank you, sir. That's exciting.
Oh, and then before I end, it was an exciting night tonight. So, Mayor, I just want to thank you for championing the Purple Heart, the first city in Brevard County to be the official Purple Heart city, and for the Military Order of the Purple Heart to come here tonight. That was awesome.
Hoorah. Councilman Hammer?
I also wanted to say thank you. That was truly amazing. Covering, my grandfather was in the Navy. Being in a Navy home, it's amazing to see people that fought for what we're doing right here, coming together in our city, backing that up. It's pretty awesome. Another thing I wanted to say, it is starting to get a little warmer outside, and we are starting to have people with boats that are going to start going out. I was going to see if the city, or even now that PD has a boat, are we doing any kind of boater safety courses? Because last boating season, I did lose a friend due to not having on a life jacket. So I would love to see, even if we can somehow push out somebody who is doing it. I don't know if the Coast Guard does it throughout the year. I would love to endorse a program that is doing it, just to get people knowing boater safety. When you're offshore, please have something, have your GPS, you can get a flasher. There's a lot of different things you can have when you're going out that can prevent people from losing loved ones. My next thing is, we have a large appetite for not just pickleball, but for soccer. I hear Palm Bay Youth Soccer is coming back. We actually have Wicks that's doing soccer too, but we haven't got a lot of area for them to play soccer. I was doing some research and I saw the Riviera Dog Park or the Riviera Park that has the dog park in it. That's a 36-acre park, and we only have 5 acres being utilized. I was going to see if we can somehow incorporate maybe some trails, a soccer field, pickleball, something in that area. That's a centralized area, So I do know that there is a soccer organization that's utilizing Fred Poppy. This would be a second place for not just Palm Bay youth, but for Wicks and a few other people that would like to have their soccer programs here in Palm Bay, where you can have it centralized to where everybody can use it. With Fred Poppy, yes, I go out there during the soccer seasons, and it's a mess. Even election days. Election days is a mess getting in and out of there. So I think that park on Riviera has a lot of potential. It's a centralized area. It's right along I-95 there. So it would be a nice open area if we could work something out. Maybe soccer fields, get a private-public partnership there. And I wanted to give a shout out to the utilities department. They went and did some work in Palm Bay Estates, and we got an email from a resident saying how professional they were, how amazing they were. They came out, they talked with all the residents, explained what they were doing, and they just said it was an amazing thing to have the city in there and not having them be ignored. They came out, they were amazing, she said, and this is somebody that we usually get complaints from, so it was awesome to see her thankful about it. And that's all I have.
Thank you. So very first thing, for boating, we do have the auxiliary Coast Guard that comes here every year. And I think you're right on point. They want to educate and they want to prevent, boating and drinking and those kind of issues. But you're absolutely right. I remember and I know your passion. So that being said, on the park, I think that there should be some form of plan before, if we have that many acres. Hey, we got football kids that are on waiting lists, and they are being turned away, and we've got pickleball as well. So, yes, I guess that's something for staff to look into, how you could best maximize that acreage. But it is a centralized location, and I'm talking green space. That's exactly the need in our community. And by the way, this Saturday, they'll be throwing out the first pitch at our Palm Bay Little League East. So that's going to be pretty cool. I love the baseball season. So, but that's got to be studied, and I think staff should consider that. Councilman Johnson, you're next on reports.
I've got nothing, Mayor. Thank you.
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to appoint Chad Story to the Citizen Accountability Task Force. A couple other things. Chad Story served, we just honored him last week.
Okay.
He's on the
Yes, sir.
IOAB board. His background, he was a county commissioner in Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
And served on
Yes,
some
sir.
other municipal boards and business. He's in the business community, so I felt like he'd be a strong candidate. And he's someone actually that's been somewhat vocal over the last year. He's two years new to Palm Bay and receive emails from him often, asking challenging questions. So I think he'd be a great candidate for that task force, and that's why I'm making the appointment. I'd like to hear from staff, Mr. Morton, on the recent letter or emails regarding the CASIC Event Center and what's happening there.
Deputy Chief, you're looking at me. Did you want to come up? I'll just defer to Deputy Chief real quick. Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. So this has been an ongoing issue that we've had at the Casica location, Jupiter and Eldron Plaza. Both Friday and Saturday nights, late night events, in the wee hours of the morning. We're talking 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. That's drawing up a lot of our resources due to this location being allowed to hold special events. And I apologize, I don't know if you had a specific question, but.
Yeah, so I guess what is the solution? What can we do as a city to?
So is this the location on Eldron and Jupiter?
At Turner Square, yes, sir. So ironically, we have a meeting scheduled for next Friday in the morning, Friday morning. It's involving a lot of city department heads to come up with a solution for that. I know that council a couple years ago made a motion and voted on to change that area to a special event zone. We're going to look at that language that allowed this event to take place there. And with talking with some city leaders and the other departments, I think would be our recommendation that we almost reverse what was done a couple years ago, because that decision is what is allowing this to take place today.
Or can we define what special events are and exclude what?
And I
other
believe
special
it was
events are?
what that special event, and Ms. Jefferson may know more to that, but I believe that ordinance or that amendment reclassified that area to just allow that specific zone in that area to allow that to operate that way.
In that strip mall. And if I could weigh in, Deputy Mayor, thanks for bringing that up. I foresaw this issue happening, and Councilman Johnson will remember that I said, this is not the right place for this. We've got neighbors behind there that are really going to be upset over everything that's going on, and now the criminal activity that's been going on. So I would be, and I'll publicly say this, I would be one of those that would reverse that vote that happened a few years ago.
Will a reversal end it now, or will they be grandfathered in? And if so, are we able to implement a curfew for that area, which?
So I don't want to overspeak just yet until that meeting's taking place, because I'll be honest with you, I don't know all the particulars with what that change did. I just know that it was that moment that allowed the event to take place there, and we've had issues since then. So.
And I believe the mayor has the ability to act as special emergency and place a curfew in particular areas of the city. So be something that'd be worth looking into if.
Definitely open to that. I don't know if you wanted to let Ms. Althea speak
Yes,
here, but.
once Ms. Althea got up, we want to hear from her.
Okay, good evening. So two things. The vote you took a few years back to allow the special event space as a conditional use. The deputy mayor, vice mayor is correct. It would then just be a non-conforming use at that point because it already exists. You also spoke to special events, and right now, apparently, the gentleman was in my office today, actually, and apparently he's complaining about the restaurant that's on the same property who is having twerking contests and other things like that at the location.
What contest?
You're going to make me say that word again? Twerking.
Oh, I didn't get it. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
Sorry. And so in my estimation at this meeting, and I was going to bring up the fact that the restaurant is probably exceeding its occupancy load, which could also be an issue. But when they are holding special event contests like this, they really are operating outside of their approved use. So that's an issue as well. So it wouldn't just be Casika that we're looking at. We'd be looking at the restaurant within that plaza as well. That's apparently causing some issues.
Okay, I've got Councilman Hammer wanting to weigh in.
Aren't there ordinances that, without even touching that, aren't there ordinances that can be put in that limit not just the parking there, but the parking along the road, the time that people are out there, without affecting this? You can do a separate ordinance just for special events that you would have to get a permit to even do this. Isn't there something that exists for that? Because I know you can get special events permits. Can't you require something like this that makes it to where you can't park on the road for this, for things like that? Because it is a hindrance when you're driving around the corner. There's cars parked on the right of way. And that's basically the use of a special events permit, is to give you access to this building. And when you don't have the occupancy for the parking lot, not just the building, because I think the building they're okay with, it's the occupancy for the parking lot. Now, isn't there an ordinance you can pass that makes it to where these have to be permitted?
We do have an ordinance. We have parking requirements, so the mayor is right. He had the foresight that this was going to be an issue when we allowed this use as a conditional use at this location. It's not a typical location for a use like that, for a special event center, because the parking is inadequate, we'd have to, basically, they can have the parking that they have that's there in place. As far as parking on the street, you can ticket them. There is a difference between a special event permit, which is overseen by Recreation Department, I think, and a temporary use. And we can take a closer look at our land development code for temporary uses, and maybe that's another way to go at this. You can establish that temporary uses can only be held as a special event so many times a year at a given location, and that if there are any issues with the police, drugs, any sort of illegal activity, that the council would have the right to deny that temporary use permit. So there are a couple of different ways I think we can tackle it, and maybe our city attorney, we can get together and talk through some of this.
Because I know there are a number of events that even they try to hold at parks, and when the city deems them as something that would be too much of a burden, or if there's something else going on in the area, for example, say they want to have a big concert at Fred Poppy Park, but there's soccer. You can say you can't be doing this because there's soccer that day, and as a city, we do not have the ability to keep track of that. For one thing, you could say, okay, well, we can't approve this because you don't have the parking. So, I mean, I know it's something that can be done without council, because several times people have I've gotten phone calls about not being able to do events in the city because there's soccer. So, I mean, I know we have the ability to do it. I just know there's a method and I don't know it.
Yeah, I think it's encouraging. Staff's got a meeting on it next Friday, so look forward to hearing back from you guys on a solution.
Yes, sir. I think your timing was great because this has been an issue that we've really started to identify last couple of weeks. We're going to meet on it. This involves a lot of city departments. I want to make sure that we have good knowledge of it, include the city manager's office, and be able to come back to you with a solid plan.
Councilman Langer.
Yeah, no, thank you for bringing this up, Deputy Mayor, and I was just going to say, we drove by this when I did my ride-along with PD, and I remember looking at it at the time, and this is a wild place to have. This is like in the middle of a neighborhood. So I just wanted to say I support, you've got a meeting, we'll bring it back and get all the details, but I'm supportive of whatever we decide to go on to.
And I just want to make a point with Councilman Hammer's point that we do have applications for what you're talking about that go through recreation. This particular area is exempt from that, and that's the issue that we're running into. Yeah.
Hey, so right now, just so that you know, Deputy Chief, there's consensus on this dais for an emergency order. If that's the avenue we'll, either way, we need to fix this, right?
Are you talking about emergency order for this weekend, like now?
No.
No,
Okay.
no,
Okay.
sir.
I was saying,
No,
night
sir.
shift, definitely
Either
would
way-
appreciate that. but-
Either way, I knew it shouldn't have never taken place.
Okay.
But carry on, you've got other items.
Another question for staff, not the deputy chief, but I don't know if anybody's driven down Palm Bay Road lately and looked at the Crystal Palace project where they started the demolition, it seems like a few months ago, and then threw everything outside the building. I'd like to just hear what is going on with that?
Thank you.
What is the solution?
Thank you.
Yes, we've been working on that. Jason, do you want to give an update, or is it Scott? Yep. Yeah, we've been working on this as well, and noticed that about a weekend that it looked like things were just thrown out the window and laying on the ground.
So I heard about this from my staff a few days ago, so we actually went out there and posted stop work orders and notice of violations to start removing the debris and getting it picked up, but I have not heard anything from them whatsoever. We have reached out to them to no avail.
So what is the mechanism the city has in place if, say, they don't reply?
We do have the code process. We also have with John now, but I'd want to check on the budget, but you did put the practice in place where we can go remove construction debris. I think this would qualify under those terms. It's obviously a high visibility, high risk. And so I know there was still money in that budget to pursue a cleanup if we can't get the enforcement. I'm sure it's a little longer of a process, but in my conversations last week before Mr. Pearson had to leave, he's definitely got his head around this. He's working with our staff. to track them down and then appropriately begin the different processes that we have to follow to either get them to clean or to go clean them up ourselves and send them a bill. So in a nutshell, that's kind of where we're at. We've still got some runway, though, to get through the process we have to work through.
Can we look at, if we go that route, city goes out, pays using that funds to clean up and remove the debris, I assume that we apply a lien to the property?
Correct.
Can we create an ordinance that states if the city has a lien on an existing project, it terminates your building permit and your usable rights to the building? Eliminates the development order?
That I don't know.
That's a city.
You let me look into that. I would be uncomfortable answering that just off the spot.
Thank you.
Well, does that conclude?
Yeah, just one last comment. It was brought to my attention, and I'm not making accusations, just sharing the information along, but it's been brought to my attention that there's been an appearance of members of the Charter Review Commission on a group chat text message during the meeting. So during their charter review meeting, more than 2 or 3 members on that text thread. Not saying that they're violating the sunshot, but the optics aren't great. And so just want to share that publicly and just ask the city attorney to look into that and maybe handle that at the next Charter Review Commission meeting.
Thank you.
That concludes my report.
Well,
Yes,
thank
sir.
you. Deputy Mayor, you're spot on, and that brings me to the issue that's down Pine Tree, behind 7-Eleven, off of Palm Bay Road, right? Is it called Pine Tree, that street? That facility that is abandoned, has been abandoned for quite some time? Pinewood, as you were. Pinewood. A tree that has wood. Pinewood. Have we looked into that? Because it's still the same, which prompted me this past weekend to go by there once I saw that with Crystal Palace. So it seems that no one's doing anything out there. Are we going to flatten that out, or what's the story there?
If you'd allow us to bring a report back, I just want to double check with Mr. Pearson where we were at and where we are at in the process. And I know that was definitely on our list, and I know he gave a report that he had expended a predominant portion of the funds and was taking a slight pause to just see how it was working out. So we'll bring a report back at the next meeting.
All right. I've got Councilman Hammer that wants to weigh in, I guess, did you?
If you give me 1 second, I just spoke with him a week ago getting an update. His update was, we had a meeting with the contractor last week. We have set up a recurring monthly meeting with them to track progress. Our next meeting is scheduled for March 12th. We have reviewed the permit applications that were submitted, and we are awaiting corrections from their design professional, who was also in attendance at the meeting. We received assurance from them that their intention is to have the permits and start construction as soon as possible, and that was on February 18th.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I'm on my reports, and gentlemen, I'm really excited about the opportunity to be the first Purple Heart City in our county, and I really am grateful for each and every one of you, your resounding thumbs up. So that concludes my report. Mr. Morton?
Yes, sir. 1 item of business and 4 items of gratefulness. So I'll start with the business item tonight. It is not a requirement, however, council had expressed a desire to have a council member sit on the State Lobbyist Review Committee. We've had some challenges there, and I can let Mayor Medina address, but he's not able to continue on. It's a very short turnaround now at this point. We would need somebody, if they're willing and available, to respond and come into City Hall next week for a training and sit and do the evaluations. We're really running out of time. So we're just looking to make sure that council has that opportunity, if they so desire, to put someone. Otherwise, we'll appoint another member of staff onto that committee and charge ahead and bring back a report.
Yeah, and so gentlemen, just so that you know, as you know, during my mayor's balls, people contribute. So just the appearance of someone that's on that list, I discovered who was on that list of candidates. And I said, well, they contributed to the mayor's ball. I'm definitely not going to jeopardize. That could be construed as a conflict of interest, even though I didn't gain personally from it. But it was something that I was fundraising for, And so I opted to stand up from that desk and say, I'm not moving forward with this. Well, I'll put it back to council and see. So, gentlemen, whoever feels comfortable, I recommend that you take that responsibility. And I'm sorry, I didn't know the finalist of that, that contract. I didn't foresee, I didn't get the list until the day I went in for training.
So, Mayor, council doesn't typically sit on any other selection processes. I would be more than okay with the city manager directing another staff member to fill that role, because we're all going to vote on it anyways.
I'm good with that as well.
I agree.
All right, cool. There you go, sir.
Awesome, thank you.
Carry on.
We got a gentleman on the council that is very tall, but he walks even taller, and sometimes I don't think, everyone realizes their impact. And over the last year, as I've sort of coached my daughter along, I was able to share a lot of stories that Councilman Langevin has shared with me about his time as a corpsman and all the opportunities he had to serve and what it's done for him. And I had shared those stories with my daughter. And unbeknownst to me, that inspired her, and she called me this morning and let me know she's in the process of enlisting in the United States Army to be a medic. So I just want to thank Councilman Langevin for,
Councilman Langevin, you didn't do a great job.
I'm sorry, Mr. Morton.
I knew this was going to happen, but, again, just the influence we don't even realize we have. So I appreciate his candor and the great conversations we've had and how that inspired my daughter. It's just awesome. I'm excited and proud, as you guys can imagine.
Marine Corps, sir.
I don't know why I chose the Army. I'm not going to ask. I'm sure you guys will kick that around. Second, grateful shout out and thank you to Deputy Mayor Jaffe. The man works. He's got a family. He coaches Little League, on and on and on and on. But he finds a lot of time. He's given us, to your point, Councilman Langevin, second tonight, a ton of expertise and knowledge on process and development and bidding and all these things that just help fill gaps that we don't have as staff and have really helped us sharpen our pencil and continue to do a better job. So I know we're all grateful. We were talking about today in a meeting how grateful we've been for your time, that you so graciously also give behind the scenes to help us do a better job for the community. So really, really thankful for that. I'm running out of time to say it. I'm a little irritated. I'm a little upset. I've been doing this for a long time now. I was looking back on 27 years in government. And it's just a fact of the finest policeman I've ever worked with, Chief Mario Agello. He's just got a character and a uniqueness about him. We were all talking about it today in staff. I'm bummed that I only had a year to work with you, sir. It's really making me sad. So I'm saying it tonight so I can say it more clear at the changing of the guard ceremony here coming up. Just a unique man, unique character, leader, has inspired so many, has inspired me in my year working with him. Really going to miss him. Also excited for DC, of course, and we're developing a great relationship. But I'm going to be very clear because someone asked me why and called me out. Yes, I've invited the PD, I've invited fire, I've invited our staff as the community's invited to come. It's a momentous day to celebrate a legacy of leadership from Chief Agello and to welcome a new legacy of leadership with Chief Spears. So I have invited staff to come to that event, and I proudly have done that. Lastly, it is Employee Appreciation Day, and thanks to Lynn and my office for putting together some notes and some cards. I have something I'm supposed to read. Apparently. Okay, there's one thing, I guess that's another request, so we'll get to that in a second. So just want to really be grateful and thank you for staff for all that you do. I know we only have some of you in the room, but we've been doing our tour and explaining Doge to our staff in the 3 bins of Doge, as Councilman Hammer alluded to. It's fiscal, it's also transparency, and it's also how are we doing a better job, focused, customer service, focus-faced. And so had a great opportunity to share our end goal with staff and to get them motivated, get them on the bus, and just really appreciative for our team. Lastly, apparently I've been asked to have Chief Stover come up to share an audio file that was intended to be played at the last council meeting. And apparently we did not hear it here, but people at home heard 9 versions at once and could not make it out. So we're going to try again to play some brief audio clips, and thank you for your doing that, Chief, and thank you for your indulgence, Council.
We need multiple units on Day Street. We have multiple houses in danger at this time. Need them on Day. 1973 Day. Fire on both sides of the road.
Okay, what that was there was one of our most seasoned lieutenants on one of the first arriving units, giving a size up on what he saw there and what he was saying he was going to need for additional resources to get out there to be able to prevent the property loss and make sure that everybody was safe out there. That was the first clip.
Command report. Good. For Palm Bay PD, 1961 day, there's a juvenile in the yard. They're unable to make access due to the flames.
Now, when they're saying that there's a child that was trapped
Copy
in
that.
the,
Engine 4, did you copy that? Can you get it live? I did copy. I've asked them to leave several times. I'll be running back that way.
they were able to safely get the child out of the area where he was trapped within the fire area and get him out of there before any harm was done to the child.
Battalion 2, it's already jumped the canal. Coming your way.
And that right there
I
is
see it. I'm already having these homes evacuate.
that's where we started to give the evacuation notice for the houses there. And as we talked about last time, there's a citizen inside of their house watching that come towards them. And we had made the decision that some of these houses were going to be lost, but the crews did not want to have any part of that. So they were able to get in there and make sure none of the houses were in fact lost. That's what those 3 clips were. We apologize for the audio problems that happened, but sometimes, computers just don't cooperate with humans. So that's everything. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Any questions, council?
All right. Thank you all very much. Have a good night.
Madam Attorney.
Yes, Mayor, I have 2 items. First item is the city council had previously considered, Centerpoint had an application for rezoning that was denied 3-2. They then challenged the denial using the land use and environmental dispute resolution process. Previously came forth, Councilman Johnson was the city's rep. We recently had a mediation. Just wanted to announce so everyone's aware that the results from that mediation will be coming back at the next regular council meeting. So that will be on the agenda, the results from that mediation at the next regular council meeting, which is the 19th. The second item is that I do need to have an executive session pursuant to section 286.011 subsection 8 Florida statutes, and that's on the Aqua versus BCRA and City of Palm Bay. It's case number 5D 2025-3749. This is a case that is on appeal. We actually just completed an appellate mediation. I'm asking if we can, although it's not going to be a council day, I can't get our appellate counsel there. If I can get a majority of you for the 26th, which would be the Thursday after the 19th. Let's see if I have, who's available for the 26th?
I'm okay for that.
I think I have Civ Mill that night. So can you, last time we spoke, the 19th is not good?
The 19th is not good for appellate counsel. I mean, I could be there. I do think this is a case that, and I can tell you what appellate counsel has said, but I think it may be worth it to be able to hear from appellate counsel personally. But if you all would rather do it the 19th, I will certainly convey to you what I have received from appellate counsel. But appellate counsel will not be able to be present for the 19th.
So the 26th is the only time you have?
Also had to deal with council chambers being available the 9th, 10th, 11th, and the 26th.
The 10th, 9th is this coming Monday. That's Space League of Cities. Then the 10th is the Citizens Advisory or the Citizens Academy. At what time on the 10th? How long do you think it'll last?
Probably 30 minutes, 30 to 40 minutes.
Oh, negative, ma'am. I can't do that. And the 11th is a no. Is that correct?
No, the 11th is available.
Okay, so can we do the 11th?
Do I have 2 other people that can do the 11th?
Yeah, nighttime. Yeah, evening.
So I've got
5:30?
two. Was there a third?
5:30?
Five.
Johnson, are you still on board?
Got Mayor Langevin. Was there a third person for the,
That's
11th?
Wednesday, that's next Wednesday, gentlemen. Is Johnson not on board? Hemi, you're not available? And so the 12th is not available either?
No, the council chambers, I think, is taking on the,
Ma'am, is this a special executive meeting?
is an executive session.
Don't we meet in the city manager's office anyway?
We meet here, then we go to the city manager's office.
We could just say, okay, we're starting the meeting and just go upstairs.
I think there's already something in here at that time.
There is at 6. You can possibly do it at 5:30.
If you did it at 5:30 on what day?
That would be Thursday, March 12th.
On the 12th?
Is it?
At
open?
5:30?
Yes.
If you did it at 5:30?
The only thing that we're gonna run into is we have our TPO meeting on Thursday, the 12th. So
Is it 3:30?
if we leave at 3:30, then it would work.
Are we good? Thursday, the 12th, 5:30.
I'm 50-50 right now.
Okay.
But you have three?
Do I have three? So Mayor Langevin and Councilman Emmer?
He says he thinks he's good, so let's shoot for the 12th at 5:30.
Okay, the persons who will be attending are the mayor and members of city council, city manager Morton, city attorney Smith, attorney Sarah Pellenbarg, and a certified court reporter. And that is, what did we say, the 12th?
March
The
12th.
March 12th at 5:30. Thank you.
All right, that's it. This meeting's adjourned.